And as long-standing friends of the United Kingdom, the United States respects their decision, not how we would have preferred it to be, but we respect their position. Our relationship with the United Kingdom, with our allies across Europe, are indispensable for America's economic as well as national security.
And that was Vice President Joe Biden reacting to the Brexit vote that happened earlier today, saying this is not how we would prefer it to be, but we respect their position. Reaction just poured in all day from this unprecedented vote. We have put together kind of a compilation of various leaders responding to this shocking news, and afterwards we'd like to hear from you and get your reaction. So again, the number to call is 1-877-Newsmax. Take a listen.
But the British people have made a very clear decision to take a different path. And as such, I think the country requires fresh leadership to take it in this direction.
David has been an outstanding friend and partner on the global stage, and based on our conversation, I'm confident that the UK is committed to an orderly transition out of the EU.
I will do everything I can as Prime Minister to steady the ship over the coming weeks and months. But I do not think it would be right for me to try to be the captain that steers our country to its next destination.
We agreed that our economic and financial teams will remain in close contact as we stay focused on ensuring economic growth and financial stability.
This is not a decision I've taken lightly, but I do believe it's in the national interest to have a period of stability and then the new leadership required.
Look, as an American, we value the principle of sovereignty, self-determination, government by consent, and limited government.
People want to take their country back. They want to have independence in a sense, and you see it with Europe, all over Europe.
The United States and our European allies will work closely together in the weeks and months ahead. I do think that yesterday's vote speaks to the ongoing changes and challenges that are raised by globalization.
I was actually very surprised that President Obama would have come over here. He would have been so bold as to tell the people over here what to do. And I think that a lot of people don't like him.
One thing that will not change is the special relationship that exists between our two nations. That will endure. The EU will remain one of our indispensable partners.
President Obama did say, I guess, that they should move to the back of the line. That wouldn't happen with me. The UK has been such a great ally for so long. They'll always be at the front of the line.
And our shared values, including our commitment to democracy and pluralism and opportunity for all people in a globalized world, that will continue to unite all of us.
They've been amazing allies in good times and in bad times, and sometimes they make mistakes together, but as we know, but they've always been great allies.
Our friends in the United Kingdom are our indispensable ally, and this is a very special relationship, and that relationship is going to continue no matter what. Period. End of story.
And there you just heard from House Speaker Paul Ryan. We also heard from British Prime Minister David Cameron, GOP presumptive presidential nominee Donald Trump, as well as the President of the United States. A lot of people reacting to, again, this shocking news, including Jim, who joins us now from Newcastle, Ohio. What's your reaction to the Brexit, Jim?
Good evening, Miranda.
Good evening.
Well, I think the British people have a right to say what they want to. The last member of my family that had any right to decide that left England in 1619. So we, I respect what they decided to do. I have no enmity toward the British people. They've been our friends for a long time. So I think we should support them.
Jim, are you concerned at all? We've been talking, we're getting various reaction, opposite sides of the spectrum. Some people saying that this will have a horrible ripple effect all across the globe, especially when it comes to financial markets. Other people are saying not so fast, that it may take some time, maybe a few months, but we will adjust and Britain will be stronger for it. What do you think, Jim?
That's my opinion. We need to wait a little while. Let things settle down. Everybody's panicking now, and instead of really paying attention to what's going on, we wait a few months, see what happens, and if it goes down, well, then we have a reason to panic. But I don't think we have a reason to panic right now.
I hope you're right, Jim. Thanks so much for joining us here on Newsmax Prime. We now want to go to William, who joins us from Hot Springs, Arkansas. William, thanks so much for joining us here.
Thank you. I couldn't get through earlier, but I have a comment.
Go ahead.
On Freddie, the black man who died after the arrest and riot in the van.
Right, the incident that happened in Baltimore.
Yes.
Yes, we were
Could you
talking to
please
Ron
have-
Husko about that. What's your reaction to the
Yes.
latest news?
I would appreciate it so much if they would have some forensic specialist analyze the film of his arrest. His primary injury was in the motorcycle accident, and if you will note, in his handling by the police, he was unable to move his lower extremities after any time that they pulled him from the wreck. He should have been, of course, placed in an ambulance and not in the police van. But I sincerely believe that his injury sustained in causing his death was prior to his arrest and handling. It was from the motorcycle accident.
So
and
do you-
shamefully, he should have been carried to the hospital.
So do you think the judge, though, made the right decision today?
Pardon?
Do you think the judge made the right decision today to drop the charges?
Yes, I do, but there should have been a reprimand and not following the correct procedure and meeting the needs of the person involved in the moment that he was under such stress and injury.
William, thanks so much for joining us here. We appreciate your comments here on Newsmax Prime. We now want to go to Kathy, who joins us live here on Newsmax Prime. Kathy, where are you calling us from?
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh. Thanks so much for joining us here. The Steelers, Pittsburgh Steelers, right?
And the Penguins.
And the
Stanley Cup
Penguins.
champions.
How you doing this evening? What's your question or
Very
comment?
good.
Good.
And I just had a real quick comment
Sure.
and a question. I've never heard anyone address on any of the news stations. I don't expect it from the liberal media. I sort of expected maybe from Fox that there was that there would be a poop storm after the first time we got lectured by President Obama about how the immigrants who come here pick our fruits and make our beds. He gave another speech, a second one, and said the same thing. What was it, a week ago he gave another one and said the exact same thing. I'm just wondering if a non-minority politician were to say the same thing, would they be given the free pass that he's been given after making these comments? I've never heard anyone say anything about, wow, how bigoted that statement is or how racist that statement is. But if it came out of a non-minority, they would be called a racist.
Right. I think a lot of people would probably agree with you. I don't know specifically the comment that you're referring to, but a lot of people think that the Democrats have been treated differently by the liberal media than versus the Republicans. As always, we appreciate all your questions and comments. Thank you so much for joining us, and you can still reach out to us. The number to call, again, is 1-877-NEWSMAX. Again, that's 1-877-639-7629. Or chat with us via social media. There it is, newsmaxtv.com/comments, or you can also reach us on Twitter at twitter.com/@NewsmaxPrime. That is going to do it for this edition of Newsmax Prime. We appreciate you watching us, and we hope you have a wonderful and safe and happy weekend. And we'll be back here Monday night. See you then.